What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be previewing round 2. It's Port Adelaide versus Richmond at the MCG this Sunday at 3:30 p.m. A massive week of footy is coming up, and obviously with Port Adelaide winning against West Coast last week by 50 points, the Tigers coming off of a close loss to the Carlton Blues and losing opening round as well against the Suns. They're obviously looking to get their first win of the year, and the Power obviously wanting to continue a winning streak and set up a good start to the year. It's a massive game, and obviously playing at the MCG as well is a big component of it, because you don't take these opportunities for granted, especially playing at the G. You want to get all the knowledge and experience you can out of these games, because you only get to play a couple of years before the final series. So if you're lucky enough to make it, you have that a bit of extra knowledge and experience there playing at the G. Most importantly, this week's game is Travis Boak's 350th game, a massive milestone. It's never been achieved by a Port Adelaide player. It's only the 23rd, I'm pretty sure, player to ever do it in the AFL. And yeah, what a man, what a milestone it is, and it deserves to be celebrated as well. So we'll be doing that as well today and previewing round 2. So let's just get straight into it, eh? Let's talk about round 2, Port Adelaide versus Richmond. Let's do the preview first, because I want to talk about Boak. Obviously, this week's game, as I mentioned, it's at the G, so it's a lot of importance there. We play a Tigers outfit that looked really, really competitive last week against the Blues. They didn't look anywhere near as competitive in opening round against the Suns. So it's a bit hit and miss with the Richmond Tigers at the moment. I'm not sure exactly how this one's going to go. Obviously, last week's game against West Coast for Port was it was good, but it wasn't great. So you kind of sit here and go, well, I don't really know what to expect. And round 2 is obviously always iffy. You never really know a true team's form until they get really deep into the season, and into the start of the season, I should say. So I'm thinking we're in a good spot. Obviously, when it comes to milestones, you obviously got Boakie's 350th. I think it's Ken's 250th as coach as well. So another milestone there for himself and the club. It's not going to be talked about this week, and nor that it shouldn't. It's Travis Boak's week. But I think you look at Richmond and some of their components that are really will be hard to stop. I think their defence is obviously something that I think we can expose, especially with our tools and our leading. And the last time we played at the G, it was a wettish game. Sack Butters dominated, and it was a lot closer than it should have been. And our midfield was pretty much a dominant force in that. In saying that, the Tigers have a great midfield outfit. They'll be missing Prestia with a hamstring, so that sort of opens an opportunity. You obviously have Hopper in there, Martin plays in there, Shai Bolton, Baker will go through there as well. They've got countless others that can go through the mix too. So they have a young brigade that works and does a really, really good job. Their defence, as I mentioned, Grimes is there. Vlosten is a great component. They have players around in each step that can be definitely damaging. Tom Lynch is obviously up forward, and he didn't play against us last time, and that's something I've been very, very wary of, especially with our defence. We've definitely got, obviously the bulk stuff in there. We brought in Zerk Thatcher, we've brought in Salva Radaglia, still got Lear, Lockie Jones, Miles Bergman, Dan Houston, Ryan Burton, Kane Farrell. They're all a defensive unit down there, so it's a very hard defensive place to break. But in saying that, they have that firepower, and I think they definitely have something that can challenge Port this week. And playing at MCG is definitely, no doubt, one of those components that will help them become this Sunday. For Port, it's just simply rocking up, kicking straight, and making sure we have a good positive attitude for 4 quarters. I think our midfield works really, really well. Rosie Butters, Wines, I don't have to list them all. We know what the list is. The forward line looked great last week, I think, once we were getting on the move and inside 50. It looked a lot more structured, I thought, and having 40 scoring shots definitely shows that. I know we only played West Coast, but they still had a great defence with Tom Barras, Jeremy McGovern, and co that were down there. So I think now that if we have that structure that's going to work well, defensively we looked a little iffy early, because I think we were still learning our grasp and our where we were, and I think a lot of our defenders were learning each other as much as well. Pre-season doesn't fully justify how much you can learn about your teammates, and we've seen the best teams in the world play with each other for a fair while before they click and get with it. So I think they'll take a little bit of time, but definitely in that second half last week, it was more of a structured defense, looked a lot more composed, and we were playing a lot of attacking footy last week. So that's what broke us quite a bit. But in saying that, kicking straight definitely was a component that we just need to fix. And it's simple as that. If we're having 40 scoring shots, which is equal, I think, to what we've ever done in the AFL, like, having that is massive. But we've got to convert that. 24 goals, 16 is a lot better on paper. And even if this week we come in, we have 25 scoring shots, if that is 15 goals, 10, that's 100 points. That's a game-winning score. Like, you've got to look at these things that way. And I think with, Dixon and Marshall didn't kick a goal last week. Rioli won 2. We had Finlayson kick 0 goals, 4. It's, these are the players that we need to kick into gear. So definitely one of the major factors that we need to watch this week. Everything else was kind of sound. So we'll see how it progresses into this week, that's for sure. Changes. Only the one change for me. Obviously, Jed McEntee will come out with a concussion, which is unfortunate. And a lot of people, I think, might be a little bit happy about that. He finally exits the team. But, unfortunate for him, and hopefully he recovers well and comes back into the side the week after. I think Francis Evans gets a full game, and Jace Burgoyne will play as the sub. Everyone else will probably keep their spot for another week. Finlayson, obviously looking a bit off. I think they keep it the same and still play with the one ruckman. If he doesn't play well this week, though, I think you might see Jordan Sweet against the D's, but don't quote me on that just yet. But, we look at this week, and I think we're well matched up, we're well structured, we just got to execute, and I wouldn't be making too many changes. I now look at my tip for the week, and I'm predicting a decent win. I think we win by about 33 points. I do just think we're too attack-minded, where we will break Richmond down, and if we kick straight, we'll win by that margin. If we don't, it'll be a lot closer, and Richmond have that same vortex of they can run with the footy, they can carry, they've got some penetrating kicks, short, Rioli, they have that capability in there. Dusty Martin's very much one to watch, and I think we'll be up against it early, and I just think our team experience, led by Rosie, will do it, and they've got to do it for Trav. I think that's the most important thing. So doing that for Trav will be the main focus this week. Now, before I sign off this preview, I would like to know everyone to mention a couple of things in the comment section. One, obviously their tip for this week and what they think, and 2, their favourite Travis Boak moment. For me, you can't go past him staying at Port. I've loved Boakey since he pretty much came on board back in 2007 when he was drafted. And to play 350 games is something that should be celebrated, and celebrated well. This is a milestone we might not ever see again at Port Adelaide. You just never know. They're a rare breed, these players, to get to 350 games. He's the second to do it for 300. He's the first to ever do it for Port Adelaide at 350, and it deserves to be celebrated. And I just want to say a massive congratulations to Travis Boak, because he's an inspiration. He's a true professional. He's a loyal player. He's a loyal person, and he's just one of the great blokes to meet. So full credit to Travis, and I wish him all the best this weekend, and hopefully we get the job done, which we should, at the MCG as well. And it's ironic too that we're playing the Tigers at the G, it was the place that he kicked his first goal back in round 16, 2007 as well. So happy days. Let's see how we go, eh?
Massive moment, and he's equal to it. Port Adelaide in front.
Thank you so much for watching, Port fans and everyone else involved. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Richmond fans, if you're watching this, let me know your thoughts as well. Would love to hear them. I'm definitely not writing your team off this week. I just think Port Adelaide are just a little bit better at the moment, and I think we're going to get the job done. So hoping so. I won't be there, unfortunately. We'll be missing it. I'll be in Melbourne, but I'll be there for Formula 1, which is just, I'm not really happy about it. But hey, if you look at it, we'll get to celebrate Boakey next week against the D's back at home for 350 plus 1. So let's see how it all goes, but I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully we get the job done. Thank you so much for watching again. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. My name is Anthony, and as always, can't Travis Boak.